Oh, it's looking nice. But look at this tomato. Isn't this beautiful? And I sauteed this with mushrooms and a little bit of oregano and thyme. Good morning and welcome back to the garden. I'm Dawn. Last night we got 1.5 inches of rain into this morning, and they're saying it's going to rain in about an hour. So we have to get my onions out finally. Here's my onion bed. As you can see, I have some good sized onions in the middle, but the rest not so great. This year has been tremendous with this heat. We had 5 weeks, and we're going to have a lot of small onions this year, but what can you do? Our root vegetables in this heat didn't do as well, but we'll take what we can get. So let's start picking onions. So here's the first bit of onions. I'll show you a little bit of them. So we got some red onions. They're about that size. Then we got some smaller ones like this. And then, can't see these, but these were in the middle. These are the bigger sweet onions. So not bad. I'll lay them out on a nice flat rack and let them dry really well. Well, that's not bad. Now the second row of onions we're going to pull, that bed will be a little smaller. I planted that like a week or two after these, so that's where the heat really got them. But no matter how small the onions are, I'll definitely use them. So they won't go to waste. So here's my second bed of onions. I didn't have anything in this spot. These are my bunching onions, and I didn't use all of them, so now they actually made some onions. So I have those. But here's the regular onions. So we got these. Those ones are looking pretty good. And then you come down to here. These ones didn't do as well. You see, this one's pretty small, but they're still usable. So we'll pull these out now. So we just got done pulling the second bed of onions out, and with the rain I noticed that my hot peppers are really starting to lean over. I have to get my second thing of netting on there before the next storm comes. We're supposed to get a big storm, like I said, within an hour. So I want to get this up before it breaks any of my pepper plants. This netting has been really helpful in the garden since we started using it. And now we go down the rows and we tighten everything up. And Tom's just finishing that up. Let me show you how well the eggplant are doing. Yeah, the Doesn't seem to mind the heat as much. It's doing very well. I got a nice one here. I got a whole bunch of clusters of flowers that are starting to make eggplants. There you go, right there. And I have a whole bunch of eggplants to pick. Oh, that's looking nice. Very pretty. This one is a real nice one. This one's called Dancer. And then I have my Oriental eggplant. Let's see if I have any over here. Oh, I do. There you go. That's the Oriental. They're really good in stir flies. So I guess I'll be picking some eggplants. Hot peppers are also doing nice. Hot peppers never seem to mind the heat. Look at all my Hungarian wax peppers that are on here. And these are my black jalapenos, and I haven't made my poppers with them yet. They're not supposed to be as hot, but I tasted one raw and it was surprisingly spicy, and now I'm scared to make my poppers. Hi, little goat. Well, since I'm here, I'm gonna pick these couple eggplants. And we'll get this guy. The other ones can still stay on for a little bit longer. All right, so I just picked those couple eggplant. Since we're still here, I'm gonna pick more cucumbers. If you saw last week's video, we picked a tremendous amount of cucumbers. I made 26 quarts of garlic dill pickles, which was very nice to use in my own garlic, my own dill, and my own pickles. And I still have a whole bunch in the refrigerator. I made some cucumber salad, and I still have more, but these are ready to be picked, and cucumbers, you can't wait. So we're gonna pick more of these, and I guess I'll be pickling again tomorrow. All right, so this is the one side. We picked cucumbers a week ago, and this is how many we got in 1 week. This side of the cucumbers, I mainly planted one called Cool Customer. And it's doing pretty well with disease with all this humidity. I want to show you the other side of cucumbers. We're going to pick that next. This section right here, you can see all the disease on it. But if you look down the row, the rest of the row looks fine. So this one I might not plant next year. This one is called Excelsior. So the disease has really gotten to this one, but it still has a lot of cucumbers on there. It has a lot up top. The top is okay. So we'll have to finish out the season and we'll see how this one does. But that's, in this plot I planted 4 different types of pickling cucumbers. Here's the back side of this cucumber, Excelsior. I might be rethinking not putting it in next year. Even though it's diseased, the top is great. But I think it's out producing all the other cucumbers. Look at all these cucumbers. Even though it has this disease. And this is the second picking. You saw how many we got in the last video? It was a tremendous lot. And they go all the way up to the top. And our trellis is 8 feet tall. It's way up there. So there's our row of cucumbers. And this is how we pick. Tom takes the back side and I take the inside. We get a lot more accomplished that way. All right, I'm supposed to be picking cucumbers, but look at this tomato. Isn't this beautiful? Look how big it is. So it's almost ripe. This is called pineapple. It's indeterminate tomatoes on this bed. And I'm gonna pick it now before the squirrels can get to it. It's just gorgeous. All right, so far, With the pickling, Cool Customer is really doing well on the other side. And I've been planting that one for years. And then on the very end, I have my straight cucumbers right here. It's so much better growing these vertically. Oh, I can't reach that one. It's way up there. Tom, I have some big ones way up there I can't get. You even need a ladder? Here, I'll take it. Yeah, so that's it with this row. We got a whole nother bin of cucumbers, especially the straight cucumbers really made a difference. And even though it's drizzling, I don't know if you can tell, but the bees are still out. I think they know that the rain is coming and they're busy pollinating my cucumbers for my next round. So that's awesome. And this empty spot here was English cucumbers. They don't last as long as the regular cucumbers. I had a row over there too, just about 6 of them. So I do have cucumbers planted in the house and bush beans and also some regular pickling cucumbers. So I'm going to be putting them in and trying to get a second round of cucumbers from them. Here's a quick look at my growing rack. Right now I have little French beans. I always plant my beans inside and transplant them out in the garden. Then I have my regular bush beans, and these are ready to go into the garden. So we might have 1 or 2 days of rain. I'll wait till after that. This is my fall broccoli and cauliflower and a little bit of kohlrabi. So I got to transplant these into bigger cells. And here are my cucumbers I talked about. They're ready to go into the garden. See, they have a nice root system. They're ready to go. So I have to put these out in the garden as soon as possible. And these are my second round of sunflowers. I have some more zinnias. I just planted them because I had the seeds. We'll see if I plant them. And then up here I have some more of the bush beans. These are little French fillet beans. And this is another tray of my regular bush beans. This is jade. Both the bigger ones are jade. This is a 72 flat. And it does take a flat and a half to fill a bed of mine. So I always plant 2 full flats in case you have some that don't germinate. And that's what I'll be doing pretty soon. All right, Tom started without me. He's picking our beans. And these are the Monte Gustos. We got to pick them because, you know, if you don't pick the beans, they don't make new ones. But I see right here, if you can see, there is a flower that's about to open. So this is what Monte Gusto looks like. It's a very nice wax bean. Very nice. There's lots of flowers on the bottom. So we'll get another round of string beans. All right, I gotta grab some peppers. I'm not gonna pick a lot today. I'm making, for lunch, I'm making breakfast. I'm making potatoes with peppers and onions and a little hot pepper in it, and then eggs on the side. And it's a nice quick lunch. But need a couple of these Hungarian wax, like I said. They're not hot, but they have a nice spice to them. So we got these. I showed you my eggplant. And I gotta pick some peppers. So on the end, I always put these small little peppers. I planted these for the first time last year, and I don't normally like small peppers, but they're very tasty. So I have a couple of those. Flavor Burst.
Some yellow ones on the other side.
And yep, I got a yellow here. Now this is Flavor Burst, very good pepper. And it turns yellow, which is very pretty in food. All right, so that should be enough peppers for lunch. And since I'm here, I have this patty pan squash here. These squashes grow so fast that you have to pick them. Otherwise, it will double in size in one day.
You ate them last night?
Yeah, I had this last night. I actually bought mushrooms, and I sauteed this with mushrooms and a little bit of oregano and thyme and olive oil, salt and pepper and garlic. Very good. Get this before it gets too big. That's perfect, almost too big, but perfect. I thought I saw another zucchini here, because they grow so fast. Now with my zucchini, especially like with this one, I'm starting to get too much. So what I'll do is I'll grate it up and I'll freeze it and I'll put it in baggies, and then I can use it over the winter and make zucchini bread or zucchini fritters and stuff like that. So that's what I do with the bigger ones, or when I get too much squash. This is my last row of onions, and this went in 2 weeks later than my first set of onions. So these are the smallest. Like I said, I'll use them. All right, it's definitely starting to drizzle harder, so we got to get these onions out of here quick. All right, so this is the onions we got. A lot of them are small, like I thought they would be, but they are very firm and hard and going to last a long time. So these onions are going to be great. They're going to cure very well, and they're going to last me into the winter. As long as I don't use them before then, they should last me all the way into January, February. That's usually how long my onions last. So I'm not going to be buying onions for a while. Now, with the smaller ones, like I said, they're not going to go to waste. I use these in my bone broths usually, and it's nice. I just have to clean them. I don't have to do anything with them but stick them in my bone broth, and I usually just freeze them, and then when I make my bone broths in the fall, I just pull them out of the freezer and use them then. So it's great having onions around. I'm just going to pick a couple tomatoes, and I have a lot in the greenhouse. I have that one that I planted, the glacier, and that has a lot on there. So let's go pick those real fast and get out of the rain. These are called glacier. I just stuck them in here early spring. You get early tomatoes from them, and I have gotten so many tomatoes. They are the what do you call it? Cocktail tomatoes. They don't get really big. They're really good. Even though they have this green tint on them, they're ripe. They're very juicy and tasty. So this has been producing a lot of tomatoes, and the squirrels have not come in here to take any. So we'll just pick these. You can see they're just loaded, and they still have a lot more flowers on them. And I have lots of flowers. Since it's raining, we will save that for the next video. Maybe I can even try to get that hummingbird that comes around. He's really hard to get on video. Oh, and my asters are finally starting to open. I talked about that in my last video. Look at this pretty color purple. Just wait till that opens. That is gorgeous. So here's today's harvest. It's raining. It's gonna rain pretty hard pretty soon. We got our cucumbers. We got all our onions out finally, which I'm so happy. Now I'm gonna put them on a big cart and let them cure. And we got all our veggies that we need for the next 2 days. And then every couple days or every day, you gotta come out and pick something. Because this time of year, everything grows like crazy. And I did pick some potatoes. I didn't show you, but that's our lunch. I do the potatoes, peppers and onions, and some fresh dill. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope you come back and watch the garden grow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.